Awesome. I hope you guys are all on. I have my laptop down below, so I'm hoping to be able to see comments and stuff. If you sign up for, oh yeah, there we go. Be able to see comments and stuff. Sorry, got to turn myself off on my laptop. So this way I'll have comments and stuff. If you sign in to EV Mux, which is an amazing streaming platform, then I'll be able to see who asked the questions, like literally live, and I can put it on the screen. But anyway, I'm very excited. We're going to get started in just a second. As a reminder, please put hashtag live or hashtag replay in the comments because I love to go through and see like what people are asking live or even on the replay. And then that way, of course, I can answer any questions you have. The other thing that I would love for you to do is to have a notebook or a pen or whatever electronic device you use. So if that's a tablet and a pencil, electric pencil or whatever it is, have that out because this is going to be some juicy information and I don't want you to miss anything. The other thing is that I am going to be sharing a cheat sheet with you. I'll share that in the comments, I believe. Hello there. Let me get my glasses on because I can't see down below very well. Awesome, Emily. Nice to see you, Emily. We had a lot of interest in this class. I was shocked that we had over 60 people sign up and it's pretty exciting, but I definitely want to make sure that we are literally, helping everyone that comes. So if you have questions, I would love for you to put them in the comments. I will hopefully see them and I can go ahead and share them like I am right now and let you know, then answer that question for you. But that's that. Next, let me see if I can go ahead and share the information, the cheat sheet right now. So I'll probably wait to share it because otherwise people are going to get distracted, or at least I know I am. If I have something, I want to go to it and look at it right away, and that's not necessarily going to help. So I will add that later. I have that down here. Okay, back to the business at hand. I'm very excited. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead and fix this. And here we go. All right. Content marketing. Boy, this is really a lot to think about and to discuss because it is everyone kind of knows what to do, right? But it is very hard to sort of plan it and then do the follow through on it. And so when everyone comes to me, my sort of expertise beyond Pinterest is on marketing workflows. I believe that if you have a really good, wicked, smart marketing workflow, then everything is 10 times easier and then you're totally consistent, right? Because marketing is all about consistency. The minute you take your foot off the gas, sadly, when in 2 or 3 months from now, when you're wondering why you have no leads or why you have no one reaching out, it's probably because you took your foot off the gas 2 or 3 months ago. So always keep this in mind moving forward, that really focusing on that marketing workflow will help you to get consistent because being consistent in your marketing helps you to grow your business. So there's always that sort of thread. And I'm going to definitely talk more about this. But first of all, I'm really excited you're here. This video will go ahead and stay in the Facebook group so you can rewatch it and rewatch it. I did a version of this in my group coaching program, and it has been watched and rewatched multiple times. So I knew it was important to leave it in this Facebook group, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So do me a favor, for those that are on live right now, go ahead and put in the comments that a why. Yes, that you are ready to go. You have your notebook and your pen or electronic version, and you're ready to open Chat GPT, because at the end of this presentation, which I'm going to try to get through pretty quickly, we're going to actually have a workshop style of education so that you can leave watching this video with actual work done and a content plan of sorts. I typically go back and revise it and revise it. So today I'm working on I like to start with a 12-month sort of overall plan. And then I narrow it down and go quarter by quarter, because my business changes so much, Pinterest changes so much, and I want to be able to make changes on the fly. So I typically do this every 3 months. But anyway, just to let you know, yay, I'm ready with a notebook. Hello, woohoo, people are here. Very exciting. I'm very, very excited to get started. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me get to the next slide. So hello. If you don't know me, most of you pretty much do, because you are like in this group, but a lot of you signed up and I hadn't even recognized your names, and I'm so excited that you're here. My overall passion is educating female service providers in marketing. That is truly my passion. I love giving free education. That's why I have a YouTube channel and a podcast and all the things. But it is truly to help people with free education that can help them move their business forward. I've done this in my business time and time again because I truly am passionate about it. But ultimately, it does pay my business back, because a lot of my clients come from somebody who just watched an education in my Facebook group. So there's a two-prong approach to that, obviously. But I am Jen Vasquez. I'm the founder and CPO, or Chief Pinterest Officer, of Jen Vasquez Media. No, I'm known to a lot of people as the Pinterest Queen, and I love that because I love anything and everything to do with crowns and pink, as you might guess. I guide hyper-busy female service providers to create one marketing workflow. Of course, that includes Pinterest, to basically increase efficiency, produce more significant returns for your business, and also that honors your energy and the time that you have to give. Many of you in here are moms, and you're either have a full-time job with a side hustle, or you have your business, and it's really hard to get things, to have time to do it all, right? I've done a ton of market research over the last month, and my ideal client knows kind of what to do, but really is looking for that marketing workflow and a way to make it consistent and easy. Let's be honest, wearing all the hats is super hard. Our Pinterest agency helps women to hand over their Pinterest marketing so that they can work in their zone of genius. This has now blossomed into more and more services, as you might guess. We have multiple clients now for short form videos, where we take everyone's behind the scenes clips that you get on your cell phone, and we create reels on a regular monthly basis for them. I personally work on the strategy for those short form videos. And then of course, we've got Pinterest management, we've got marketing services, and the whole 9 yards. Just so you know sort of who I am, I came from a marketing and sales background. I was working for a recruiter for I was recruiting for like 20 years. And I ran a team of 15 people, helping them learn how to do what I called back then relationship marketing, which is now a lot of the organic marketing that happens right now. And I was fortunate enough to be handpicked by Pinterest in October of 2022 to be one of 25, around 25, it changes on a regular basis, Pinterest pioneers, which is someone who helps as an expert in their Pinterest business community. And in November, I started working with Tailwind to help them with doing audits for their community as a Pinterest expert. So I started using Pinterest, and I know that we're going a little left field, but for content marketing, I just want you to know a little bit about who I am and why I'm expert in this area to be able to help you to learn it. I recognized that Pinterest, when it was by invitation only, that was super, super effective way back in 20 2009, before it was even out. It was basically in beta by invitation. And I grew my wedding photography business. That business I still run, but it's now branding because I don't have time on the weekends. Being a grandma, I am very invested in my grandbabies. And in 2018, I finally launched this marketing agency because I had a ton of friends saying, you help us all the time for free with Pinterest and marketing, but like you need to do a business with this. And my son was finally a senior in high school when I launched this business. That's the youngest of my 4 kids. And I'm just skipping a bunch of this because it really doesn't matter. So I'm very excited to get started and let's just do that. But before I do, I have free marketing resources for you. It is a lot of Pinterest, but there's also a lot of marketing only stuff. So even if you're not here for Pinterest, I definitely recommend doing it. You can hold up your cell phone and scan the little QR code and sign up for all of them. So instead of making multiple lead magnets, free lead magnets, I like to save time. So I put them all in one sort of marketing vault. And when you sign up with your email, you get access to all of it. So I definitely recommend you doing that. If you're here today, you probably have already done that and or you're already on the email list, but I know you'll really want this information. So I wanted to share it with you. All right. What are you going to learn today? Today, you're going to be learning data-driven marketing foundations and quarterly content planning, social media mastery with AI. And when I say social media mastery, I don't just mean Pinterest or Instagram. It's really sort of for all platforms. It's a way to, again, work smarter, not harder. And then finally, content repurposing techniques, because I hear a lot from people that they spend a ton of time, blood, sweat, and tears creating all of this content, but we're not sharing it everywhere. And for the last couple, 3 months or so, I've been actually sharing the exact same content without changing anything or sharing the exact same caption with a different image. And nobody has noticed because it's good information and only a tiny percent of people, even your followers, even see your information on social media. So I always say, and we'll talk about this a little bit, but create one core piece of content, whether that's a blog or a video or a podcast, one core piece of content, and then take that and create a crap ton of content around that. That's something that we really focus on in my membership, which I'm going to talk about at the end of this. But let's go ahead and dive in. I'm very excited to have you guys here. We've got people. Hello there. And I'm not seeing names on here, sadly. So just to let you know, FYI, if I'm not saying your name, it's because I'm not seeing it on here and I'm not looking at Facebook right now because I'm doing the presentation. Anyway, data-driven marketing foundations. So in order to do any kind of content marketing, you really do have to understand that what your KPIs are, your key performance indicators. And marketing metrics is not something that you want to play with on your gut instinct or what you think everyone wants to know. Like you really want to pull the data to know that what you're doing is helpful. These are some key typical sort of KPIs or key performance indicators. And it's more important to pick metrics that you believe in and are curious about versus measuring everything. We could spend literally the bulk of our time, 25% of our time running a business, going over analytics, and that's not going to help at all. You can't see the last 2 points from the slide. Oh, there we go. Thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate it. So you don't want to be measuring everything, you want to pick 2 or 3 key indicators from whatever platform it is. For Pinterest, it's those outbound clicks. I'll tell you right now. For Instagram, it's engagement, because that's what Instagram wants. They want people to engage with your content, whether they follow you or they share your content or they comment or they like all of those are the way that Instagram knows that you are doing a good job. And so following engagement within Instagram is super helpful. And you don't really want to turn into a statistician, right? Your job is to do your business to help your clients. So you don't want to have to worry about that. And then take it a step further. Make sure that you are clarifying questions on how they found you. So this is something I talk about a lot. And if you've heard me before, I'm sorry, I'm going to be ad nauseum. But for all the new people on here, it is really, really important to know. As an example, when people go to Pinterest and they click on your information, then it opens up. You have the image to the left and to the right has the title and the description. And at that point, people are deciding if they want to go further. So they click on it again. That's called an outbound click. And then they go to your website or whatever content you're sharing. And 90% of the time, they go to Instagram to find out more about you. If they're interested in what's going on, they're going to go to Instagram to find out more about you. They could stalk you. I've had clients hire me and they had never followed me, but they talk about the things I posted on there. So clearly they were watching, right? And they follow you for a while. They want to see how you teach. They want to see what your personality is, what your values are, how you educate, right? Because we want to learn from people that we enjoy how they educate, or we get a lot of action out of that. And so they'll follow you for a little bit. And then when they're ready to work with you, and again, this can happen for any social media platform. So I'm just using Pinterest as an example, but they'll reach out in a DM and ask you a question or say that they want to work with you or whatever it is. And as a good business owner, we're saying, great, how did you find me? Well, they're going to tell you the last place that they were when they made the decision to connect with you. So they're not even hearing, how did you find me? They're hearing, like, how did you find my information? Oh, on Instagram. But and I've done research on this for the last 4 years with clients, going back and asking them, most people say Instagram to me. High 70s, 80% say Instagram, always coming to me. And when on like a consultation call, I'll ask a second clarifying question like, great, were you referred to me by somebody? Because I'd love to thank them. Or did you use a hashtag? Because of course, we'd like to know what that is. And they'll usually pause and then they'll say, oh, actually, I found you on a blog post or on a Google search or on Pinterest. So make sure that you're asking those second clarifying questions, whether it's verbally on a consultation call or in an email, because even though you have if you do have trackers and things like that, it's never perfect. And when you have a client that's hiring you, you want to make sure you're asking all of these questions, because a client came to you and you want to know how they found you, what steps they took. And that's how I know that a high percentage of people, when they find you on Pinterest, they're going to immediately go to Instagram. So even if you're not busy on Instagram, at least make sure you have some posts on there so that they can find out more about you. Very, very important. All right, now I'm off my soapbox. Let's go to the next one. So, data analysis for smarter marketing moves. Emphasize the critical link between data analysis, that's gathering all your KPIs, gathering all of that information from the platforms, and informed decision making. So, as an example, I don't care if a lot of people find me from X, formerly Twitter. I don't like to be on there. I have a platform. I mean, I'm on there, but I am never on there. And so if I have clients, especially clients that I love that are coming from Twitter or X, it's going to be a problem for me because that's not where I am. So maybe I'll need to make some changes in where I'm spreading my information, because I'm hearing that from clients, right? So you need your informed decision making as well. And it is important to encourage your audience to think about their own data and potential insights. All right. Poll time. I would love for you guys to take this poll. How comfortable are you using data to inform your marketing decisions? So, A is data is my marketing compass. B, I track some metrics but need help interpreting them. Or C, data, where's the coffee? So put that, if you wouldn't mind, put that in the comments because I want to hear. A majority of my clients know about data, but they don't normally include that in their content planning purposes. So we got B. Anything else? Anybody else, I should say? We've got about 10 of you on here. I would love to hear from you. That dead silence, it's killer, huh? All right. Somewhere between, I can't see. Oh, B and C, but mostly C. Okay. And then we have B. That's very typical. Ah, you know what? I don't know who said this, but C, I check my data, but I don't adjust when needed. That was totally me when I started my own business. I was like, I know marketing. I don't need the data. Duh. That's very, very horrible. C, we've got a C here. We've got a B here. And then we have most of the time A, sometimes C, depending on the day. That is me too sometimes. B and C. As you can see, this is very common. So one thing I want to suggest is that once a month on your calendar, and whenever I ask you to like put something on your calendar, I really, really want everyone to consider your calendar not just by what's open on your calendar, but by when you're at your best, right? So data analytics, it very much gets me. I love it. I love diving into it, but I usually take too much time, or I don't do it because I take too much time. So one, make sure that you're doing it at a time in the day that is effective for you. So for me, mornings, I'm bright, I'm ready to go. And then super late in the evening, I'm actually good at that. So, but my analytics I do in the morning once a month. And then I pick a day for it that makes sense for me. So I don't work on Tuesdays because I'm with my grandbabies. So I tend to work on a Saturday or a Sunday. And because I don't have to work on the weekends, that's once a month, I'll pick a Saturday or a Sunday and I'll do that. Because for me, that's when I'm the most focused and I can get in and get out and not go deep and crazy, right? Not missing things. The other thing as females is to know our and I don't know how to cycle syncing. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it is really important. There are certain times of the month that our energy and hormones are not going to be best for doing analytics. So again, consider that when you're looking at your calendar, but put an hour max on your calendar. I do it in 20 minutes now because otherwise I go crazy. But put some time on your calendar once a month that you just go through all the data and you throw it into a little Excel spreadsheet or a Google spreadsheet that you can go back and keep updating. Then you're going to see some really good information on a consistent basis and not when things are going wrong and you're not getting leads, right? So that's important. Okay. Quarterly content planning. So I need to encourage you on the importance of structured content plan for achieving your marketing objectives. So we want to make sure that your goals, this is really important, you guys. I want to make sure that your goals for your business are measurable. And I know you hear that everywhere, so that's not a surprise, but it also needs to align with your time. So even if you have these really big, lofty goals, if they're not realistic that you can achieve them, so you're feeling constantly behind, or you have goals, but you only have a couple hours a week to do marketing and your goal is like way beyond the time you have to give to marketing each week, you want to make sure that your content and your goals are actionable, measurable, and in alignment. So, what do I mean? One goal for me is that I want to grow by 4% for followers on Instagram each month. Now, I don't always focus on that. I'm very Pinterest focused, if you can imagine. But Pinterest is rolling along and I'm doing great in it. And now I'm really starting to turn my focus a little bit to Instagram. And the reason is that typical growth that's good on Instagram for followers is something like 1.3% growth. I know that I want to do better, but instead of just making this big lofty goal of like 10%, I want to grow by 10% next month or next year or whatever it is. I am more thoughtful and I looked at what I did last year, and my growth was anywhere between like 1.5% and 3%. But toward the end of last year, because I've been more active on Instagram, it's going into the 5 and 6%. So I know it's possible because I've done it. I know what it takes because I've done it. And therefore, I'm comfortable with saying that my goal is 5 to 6% growth each month, meaning that I go through my analytics and I have that consistent growth going on. I hope that that's helpful in terms of an example on it. I don't necessarily want you to make goals that are unrealistic. So, another example for you for myself and my content planning, because I feel like examples are helpful to know for what you can do. Discovery calls for my Pinterest management side of my business for that agency that we manage people's Pinterest. I had a lot of different goals. Well, at the end of last year, I changed up my goals. This is why I only do goals quarterly and not annually, FYI, because things change. I started making discovery calls a real focus and a real call to action in a majority of my content. And it worked, right? Like, wow. So make sure that so I looked at the last 2 months and on average and saw how many discovery calls I got that were booked. I looked at my conversion for the consult calls to booking, which was really high. Never looked at it and I'm really proud of it. But it means that I've got to get people on those discovery calls because I have a high conversion rate. And I know this from last year. And so going into this first quarter, I have certain goals around discovery calls because I know they work, even if I don't necessarily like doing them. But it is very effective and it makes my potential clients feel comfortable having that face to face time. And it's more effective once they're booked and moving forward because we've already had this huge conversation. I'm not having to schedule this big onboarding call, if that makes sense. So I hope that helps. You want to make sure that your content and your goals align with what you already know is possible. You can make pie in the sky goals, but make sure you're starring them as reach goals, right? Ensure consistency and quality. So a lot of people take content and they're like, okay, and they use AI, which I'm going to teach you, and they're just throw stuff out multiple times a day without thinking about it. Now, this month, I was throwing a bunch of stuff out because I'm trying to see which content really resonates. At the end of last year, Reels were the thing that got me the most new people into my sphere, right? And that is important to me. I want to touch more people, right? And so that is now a goal going into this quarter to continue to analyze not just my followers, which is a goal, but the type of content that's resonating. And this way, if 6 months down the road, reels suddenly are not effective, I don't have a whole year's worth of reel content planned when it suddenly changes, right? So that's why I stress the importance of doing quarterly content planning versus annual. I like to do a big annual sort of overview look, and then each quarter I detail plan out my content. And then maximizing your marketing return on your investment. And that's not just investment in ads or something. If you don't know me, I am all about organic growth. I am going to be testing the waters with ads coming up so that I can then teach you guys how to do it too. But I truly believe that you do not have to spend money if you are willing to invest the time to get your content out there. But, your return on investment is also your time, is my point. So you have a finite amount of time. You need to make sure the things that you're doing in marketing are the top 80% of what works in your business. And you can only sort of find that through your past information. And avoid restrictive or last minute scrambling, meaning don't take even what I say necessarily to make your goals or your content plan. Take all that in and decide what is really relevant for you, right? Only you know your situation. I was really tired of a ton of education that other people were giving who had no kids when I had 4 kids, because their expectations of work output is totally different than mine. So I get this big education and I feel like a failure all the time. You always need to take every piece of education and view it through your lens of what you can do. All right. Next, aligning content with your business goals. You always want to start with your business goals, right? You're taking your business goals from what you did last year, what you know works, and you're creating new business goals that are achievable this year. Tangible, right? Goals that are realistic and measurable. And then you want to discover what your ideal client struggles are and what transformation they want. And I don't want you to do this once in your business. You want to do this on a regular basis. Anybody who's been following me on Instagram knows I'm putting all kinds of market research. Oh, you can't see the last line. Do I have somebody's? Oh, I have something on there. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting to hide that comment. I'm so sorry. So you want to make sure that you know those transformation that they have and what struggles they have. And if you've seen me on Instagram, you see all of the questions that I ask in my stories. And those questions I put in a spreadsheet and I look at what's most, because I have an idea or a gut instinct, but I want actual, real, tangible results. And the people that are answering those sort of polls and questions are the people that are interested in what you have to say, or they wouldn't take the time to do it. So it is very valuable information. And I recommend doing it at least once a quarter, because all of our content planning is on what our ideal client is struggling with and what transformation they want. And which is what brought me to this masterclass. The last quarter of last year, I was hearing time and time and time again about content planning and how hard it is. And that's why I created this. Then you want to decide on your core content. I talked about that before, but you want to be sure, what is your core content? Is it blogs? Is it videos? Or is it podcasts? Those are the main core content. I had a client once that didn't have a website and only did Instagram. It is really hard to do that for a business that you want to grow. Can you have a successful business doing it? Sure. But if you truly want to grow, the best way to do that is to have that blog on your website at a minimum. So for me, my core content, if you know me at all, is actually my YouTube videos. My YouTube videos turn into my podcasts, and also I create from the transcripts a blog post for it. So having that core content and knowing, and it's because I love doing video and I hate writing, that my core content is videos. So you choose what you enjoy or what you're good at and pick that core content, because once you have that core content, it's super easy to go from there. Like super easy, especially with AI. What I'm going to show you, as long as you have your core content, you are golden, and it'll help you create with ideas for that core content. And then and you want to make sure that you have one search marketing platform and one social media marketing platform at a minimum, right? So, as an example, your search platforms are Google, and YouTube, which Google owns YouTube, and Pinterest. Wow. As well as your blog posts, of course, right? So Google is the blog posts. They own YouTube. YouTube is very search oriented, and Pinterest. All three of those platforms, you go there to get inspired, to learn something. Like that is truly where people go when they're actively looking for help. So you want to pick at least one of those. I would say you want at least two, right? Because I think everyone should be using Pinterest. So your blog and Pinterest, and then pick a social media platform. I personally, Instagram's my social media platform, but I repurpose everything on there to YouTube Shorts, to TikTok, to Facebook, to LinkedIn. I repurpose everything there onto those platforms. But I know my main platforms because Instagram is part of that client journey on Pinterest. So, of course, I have those two for sure. Social platforms, as I mentioned, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, LinkedIn, etc. All right. How are we doing before we move on? Put a Y in there that you're understanding what I'm saying. Everything's going great. Don't forget to put questions in there. I am going to, at the end of this video, I'm going to answer all the questions. That way, someone who's just coming for the education can watch the education all the way through instead of going over questions. But I'm excited to have you guys here. All right. I know, 10:30. I'm on time. We are going to go ahead and jump in on that content calendar workshop. So let me go ahead and give you the link so that you have the content. The first thing that I want you to do is to open up ChatGPT, and that's at chat.openai.com. If you have never used it, just sign up for it right now. It's free, so there's no reason why you should not sign up for it. But I've been playing with Bard, which is Google's, and it's amazing too. So I don't care which one you use, open up the one you want, but chat.openai.com is free. Bard is free too, but you have to make sure that it's installed in your Google sort of platform. That's going to take time. So I recommend opening ChatGPT. All right. So these are questions that I gave you in the homework, but I want you to think about right now. If you didn't do the homework, which core content are you choosing? Know that. That's very important. How many times a month are you going to blog? If you're blogging, and if you're not, I highly recommend that you do it. Whether it's weekly or every other week or monthly, totally up to you. For social media, how many times are you posting? Are they reels? Are they posts? What have you? FYI, the things that get the most new eyeballs on your content are reels and carousels with hashtags. So it's important that you pick one of those. And with reels, FYI, you guys, if you haven't done reels because you don't want to actually do videos, a quick way is to record yourself as you're working through the day and use snippets of that video for a reel that you're going to put text over the top of it that gives people inspiration or education or what have you about what you are an expert at. So doing reels is totally not hard. You just have to know the right thing to do so you're not wasting a ton of time doing it. And so now let's go ahead and brainstorm content ideas aligned with goals and audience. If you'll notice, I highlighted in pink everything that you need to change. Now, one thing I will say about this, so when you're in here, in all these pink areas, you want to change it. Now, if you're doing blog posts, great, that's what I put in here for you, right? But I want you to make sure that you replace the pink areas with your own content. Follow me on it. All of these things that I put in here, I want you to change it. For now, I'm going to show you how it works, but I want to make sure you're doing that because this is where the rubber meets the road. This is the cool part. I like a table. For me, it works so much better. And you can take this table and you can copy it and paste it in a Google spreadsheet. It's sort of easier to look at and all that good stuff. So look at this. So it did the first, now obviously we're past January 7th, but I'm just as an example showing this. You can also revise it. Instead of doing all of 2024, you can do 1 month at a time. In fact, that's what I'm going to do right now for this information because it's helpful. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to change, please create a schedule for blog posts for February. I'm just going to say February. You can do February, March, and April. You can do like whatever you want to do. I'm just going to do this. And notice how I took the exact same prompt and I just plugged it in again so that I can get what I want. So if you are looking at this content and you're like, that's not cool, it doesn't work for me, that's not the case, then you want to go in and revise the prompt in that area that didn't make sense for you to be able to come back and work on it. This is amazing. I know, Kathy, it is the coolest thing on earth. AI is only as smart as we are. So if you don't like the content that comes out of AI, it's because we didn't give it enough in the prompt. And the more specific you are in the prompt, I was very specific in this stuff, but I also say, look, I'm targeting female service providers. The content should be insightful and action oriented because that's my type of education style, right? I'm not fluffy and pretty words. I'm like straight and to the point. And so I want to make sure that my content comes out the same way. And look at all of this. This is insane. Now, one thing it didn't do on this one is to put a date on it. Wait a second, is that the old one? No, that's the new one. So that didn't work for me. So guess what? I'm going to revise it again. So I'm going to say acting as a content strategist. I'm going to put it again because I want the table to have a date. So I blog posts on Sundays. So we're going to put February 2024 and provide the date I post on blog Sundays. So it should give me the Sunday date. This is what I like. If that isn't something that you need to do because you do it on different days, then leave it as is. But for me, see, I want the date. And I put in there, I blog on Sundays. So gives me the date, gives me the information, the Pinterest pin title and Pinterest pin descriptions I add onto every single time I'm doing content creation, because guess what? It is so good. So now I have the blog title that's SEO optimized is Unlocking Pinterest Power for Business Growth, which I think is effective. I might change it, use different words. ChatGPT loves to use unlock and all these different types of words. I like to change them up, but at least it gives me sort of a focus, right? The compelling hook is Pinterest, the key to your marketing success. Duh, that's a good hook, right? So I am not good with hooks. I let ChatGPT help me with those hooks. And it does Pinterest because I gave it all of my content pillars. This next one is about content creation. This next month is about marketing workflow. All right, so I'd love to see your questions. It is magical, huh, Kiana? I'm telling you, it's amazing. So one thing that I like to do, and this is totally, again, up to you, but I like to have the same type of content sort of 4 weeks in a row. So it builds on the last piece of content and keeps people moving forward to come back and watch again. But you could do Pinterest content, I'm using my content pillars, but your content pillars in making that content. So for instance, this last month, I created videos for YouTube that was all about content planning. I did 4 separate videos, maybe 5, I don't recall, but and it feeds on the next one. And it's been amazing. All right, the next one. So let me wrap up with the art of repurposing. So repurpose, refresh, reignite, right? You put your blood, sweat, and tears into content creation, not just all of your, your goals and your content, all of this stuff that we're doing now, but your content is core to your marketing and you should be using it everywhere, multiple times. Almost no one will see your content on every platform in the same day. It never happens. It's never happened to me. So you could use the exact same content in multiple ways. So 3 reasons to blog, why blogging is effective, and ways to reach your audience with blogs. Those are three different things, but it has the exact same content, if that makes sense. So it's just basically coming up with another angle of the same core content that you could be using on social media. If you want a place to start, because everyone goes, okay, I'm so overwhelmed. I have a ton of stuff now. Now, what do I do? First thing that I would do is to go into Google Analytics, look at your blog. You look at your blogs for the last, I would look 3 to 6 months past, and which are your top 10 blog posts. Start there. You don't even have to create new content. You already have blog content. Hopefully, most of you do. Take the top producing blog content. This is where data is helpful. The data is telling you these are the top 10 blog posts. Multiple people, the majority of people are looking or reading or interacting or engaging with this content. Take one of those blog posts and make 3 different social media posts, a carousel, a reel, a this, a that, or the other. And I know Kiana in here is amazing at behind the scenes videos, basically content, right? Taking your cell phone, recording yourself like I'm recording myself right now on teaching this education. I'm going to take 3 to 5 seconds of this video and I'm going to put a POV over the top of it, or I'm going to put 3 tips over top of it, or I'm going to share it. And in the caption, I'm going to say something. You can use and reuse content so much. The key is to have that content to be able to do it. So my favorite thing with ChatGPT, everybody want to hear this? I swear, this will rock your world. Take the contents of your top producing blog post, copy that whole blog, paste it into ChatGPT, and say, act as my social media strategist, and summarize this into 3 different reels and provide the words for and the caption for me to create these reels. You'll get 5 reels from that content that you already wrote, but ChatGPT is just organizing it in a different way. Hello? That is like so good. Who here is going to do that? I would love to see, say me down below, if you're going to go look up your top blog posts, take the top producing blog post and copy it and put it into ChatGPT, asking for it to create 3 reels on Instagram or 3 carousels on Instagram. They'll even tell you like what images to use. And some ChatGPT, if you have the paid version, and some of these other things, DALL-E and all these other things, can actually create the photo for you too. That's going to be another class from me. It's incredible. Oh, I'm so excited. Do me a favor, you guys. When you do anything with the information that I'm presenting here, do me a favor, when you put that on social media, tag me so I can be your biggest cheerleader on there and I can cheer you on and comment and like and save and share your information to my audience. Because I love to see people taking action in their business from what they get educated on. This is why I like it to be a workshop style, because I want you to leave with actual content from today. So, oh, I'm so excited. Yes, Opus. Kathy, I just have been using Opus for the last 3 weeks. It takes my videos and it gives me 11 different versions of a short form video. So cool. All right, so this is my simple marketing workflow. This is what I believe each one of you should do each week. And when you get good at it, using AI to save you time, you could, not counting writing the blog, but you could do this all in about an hour or 2 a week. And yes, it's going to take you much longer in the beginning, right? To be able to get used to your workflow and your system, but it will be so amazing. So feel free to take a screenshot of this. This is like the favorite thing I've ever created because it has helped so many people. Basically, you start with your core content. You're going to summarize, and guess how I summarize my core content? I copy the entire blog or YouTube, whatever I'm doing, and I put it into Snapchat and I say, summarize this core content for me for my weekly email of female service providers. Like, you want to be very detailed in your prompts. Create 3 to 5 unique pins and reels and stories. Oh, and on the prompts, I have 3 different prompts for you. Let me get to that, because I think on the prompts I have for blogs or videos or reels, I have AI prompts for social media, same situation, and creating reels in bulk via Canva through AI prompts. I did this and I have 32 reels ready to get scheduled. Tell me how crazy that is. All because of AI. It is insane. Insane. Okay. So, one thing I do want to say before you guys jump off is that I have a new service. So I have a group coaching marketing strategy academy that I have been doing for 5 years now. And the feedback that I was getting was there's a lot of businesses that can't afford the $97 a month. But I wanted to be able to offer something that's very low cost to anybody that's getting the education and wants to learn and wants to get, like, this type of content is what I'm doing in the group. And with the Pinterest Strategy Club, this new community membership, I scaled it back on my time so that I can make it affordable. So Marketing Strategy Academy is the group coaching membership, and I'm live twice a week with my group, and we do a masterclass each month, and I have guest speakers and like the whole 9 yards. In Pinterest Strategy Club, I have 1 live pinning session a month. That's for accountability. Live Q&A sessions where you can literally pop on and I actually share my screen and share how to do something when there's confusion. We have a 1 masterclass a month, and you get 10 pin templates that my team has created each month. So you have a ton or a wealth of information in there, and it's only $33 a month. The price is going up in like next week. So if this is something that you would like to do that would really help you in your marketing, because I know it's called Pinterest Strategy Club and Pinterest is sort of a core of what we're learning there. I cannot tell you, and I know Maria's in here and she's in our group coaching, the wealth of information on marketing alone that you get is well worth that $33, which again is going to be going up. So if that's something that you're interested, I highly recommend you hold up your cell phone and go ahead and look at that QR code, because that's where you can go ahead and sign up for that. I would love for you guys to join us. And now I'm going to take all the questions. So let me stop sharing. Let me look in the comments. So now, what can I help with? Let's see. Do you use a tool to organize this workflow like Google Sheet, project management tool, etc.? So a couple things. I use Asana because it's really helpful. I like the little unicorn that goes when you like get a task completed, like mentally, it makes me happy. But in terms of the content creation piece of it, I like to use the Google Sheet with the table that I asked ChatGPT to make for me. And I put it in there and I add a column to mark when it's published. And I have another column for the second time I publish it, because I like to try to publish my content, reuse it in even 3 to 6 months from now. So because it's good content, and especially those reels or posts or Pinterest pins that do really well, right, that I see from my analytics, I want to redo them. So I had another column for that. So I always say this, I have tried over the last 5 years of this business. I've been in business since 2009 for my photography business. Both businesses are merging, by the way, you guys. It's going to be just one agency with brand photography and the content creation, the whole 9 yards. But it is really helpful to use something that makes sense for your brain. And I've tried every single tool out there, Trello, like you name them all, I have tried them all, and they've all worked to a certain extent. But Asana is the only one that I tend to continue to go and mark things off. So I've chosen Asana. I feel like, and it's free, so I love free stuff. But if Trello makes more sense to you, do it. I like Asana because I can look at calendar view for posting, like a posting schedule, but I can look at it as a board because I like to look at things in boards like Trello, but I can do that on Asana. And again, that Asana is free. I don't even have an affiliate link for it because I want everyone to choose and use whatever makes sense to your brain first. And second, whatever you are consistent with. And that was just not consistent with any of the other types of platforms. All right. Have an amazing week. And again, please don't forget to tag me in any content that you create because I want to cheer you on and I want to like comment and like and save and all the things on your content. Oh, how often do you suggest posting for a new company per week? So I'm going to answer this in a couple different ways because again, it comes down to your time and how you like to work. I think that's important. Here's some generalities, but again, make it for you. But in general, I truly believe having a blog post each week or every other week is really important. And the reason is you're driving people to your website that you own. We don't own social media. So I don't like link trees or any of that type of thing on an Instagram because you're giving all of your clicks away to someone else. We have a link in Instagram and it should be going to our website. So I have a link tree in Instagram in the links that take people to my website, but it has like listings like a link tree on it. Number one. And remember that your blogs are search worthy, meaning that they get better with time. Like some of my blog posts from 2 years ago are in my top 15 blog posts. I go in and I update that information to make sure it's current and I republish it to a current date and it drives even more traffic there. In terms of social media, that's dicey because it really depends on consistency. So if you believe through this AI and content plan that you can create 3 posts on Instagram a week and stick to it, then do that. If you do 5, but you say you're going to do 5, but you only do 3, then it's sporadic, then it's not going to help. Consistency is more important than how many times you post on every platform, truly. So, especially with Pinterest. So even if it's 1 pin a day on Pinterest, you're going to grow. You're going to grow. So if you had something specific, let me know. Oh, Alejandra, I have 3 links on Instagram and 3 of them go to my website. Bravo. Don't give away your links, people, because that ends up telling Google that you're valuable and people are looking at your stuff and they share your stuff with more people. That's how you grow. Again, there's search platforms that help you with long-term growth. That's YouTube, blog for your blog for Google, and Pinterest. Those are the things that take time to get in and work. Social media is 24 to 48 hours. 72 if you're lucky, or if it goes viral, great, maybe a week or 2. But even when you go viral, it's not always your ideal client. So make sure consistency, basically bottom line, Kathy, consistency is 100 times more helpful. I have one client who wanted to do 5 times a week on Instagram. I talked her into doing 2 times a week on Instagram, and she is growing like weeds. So it's whatever you are going to commit to and are consistent with, cool. Which means definitely using a platform like Meta or Tailwind, which is my favorite, to post things in advance so that even if you're on vacation or even if you get sick, stuff's going out. That's really, really important. All right. Your chat prompt asks for 5 Pinterest pins. Do you share each post 5 times? So some clients, I share 5 pins for each blog post. For me, I share 5 for sure. I don't ever do more than 5 at one sitting because it's not going to help you. And with the same URL on Pinterest, you do not want to post a pin with the same URL unless there's 7 days in between. And I know 7 days is sort of arbitrary, but you'll look spammy if it's less than 7 days. So you want to take it as an example if you're just getting started, 5 blog posts with 5 pins, and they're all going out every 7 days. That starts filling up your queue and Tailwind to have content going out even if you're not doing anything. That's important. So I say 5, you can say 3. The bulk of my clients in my group coaching do 3 pins for their blog content. I have a lot of students that use 5, but if 3 is better, cool. But the key for those pins is that they're different, meaning let's say it's a wedding, right? One pin can be San Jose wedding at Fortino Winery. Another pin can be Fortino Winery wedding in winter. And then the next one could be, you got to see this first dance with a father and daughter and whatever is unique, right, about it. They all go to the same blog, but every pin is something different. It comes from a different perspective. That's very important on Pinterest. All right. Awesome. This was amazing. I'm very excited. I hope to welcome you guys into the membership. And again, next week, the price is going up. So if it's something that you want to do, I would definitely recommend doing it now. And you can cancel at any time. It's just month to month. So no worries. Have a great day and go out there and do something good for your business.